So just finished up here in the yard. My commercial bees, going through getting them ready to go to California. We had a little nice weather, so I've got some clips here I'll get out to you. But I wanted to say thanks to the people that spend their time watching my videos. I know a lot of you have been doing bees longer than I have, know way more than I do about it, and still put in the time watching. I really appreciate it. The channel's growing a little bit, so anybody that's new here, if you subscribe, it really helps the channel. If you don't want to do that, at least hitting the like button and dropping a comment. It doesn't have to be anything special. It just gets it out in front of more people. And then there's a lot of stuff in my archives, old videos I've done for new beekeepers, anybody that's trying to get into this. Take a look at that, see what you got, ask me questions if you need more clarification, and I'll do my best to get them answered for you. So anyway, thanks a bunch again, and we'll wrap up today. Well, we finally got a little sunshine. Not super warm, but it's not super cold. So I borrowed a vaporizer with oxalic acid from Rolando, Byron's dad. And instead of having a generator, which I hate because they never run when you want them to, I rigged up big jumpers from my battery into an inverter, and then I can just pull extension cord out and run it from there. So that cold was really hard on the bees. I lost a number of other colonies here. We're trying to get a complete count and get some pollen and stuff on these guys. Most of them that are left are pretty small. They're in pretty tight little clusters too. So we'll see if this thing will stay on long enough to get some video here. Is what I'm going to try to do. So here's just a very small cluster of bees in here, but they're top and bottom box, splitting it, which makes it kind of a pain for me, because I'd like to put a patty right on top of them. But if I put it right on top, I'll be splitting the poor guys right in the middle, and that won't be good. Some of these old formic acid strips that they said would dissipate on their own, that didn't. Them the hell out of here. Alright, so what I'm doing, since these are real small clusters, I'm putting a good pollen patty right beside them so they can come up and get it. Then I also have some fondant that I pulled out of one that didn't make it, so we're going to put that in there. Right between them. And I'm going to put my oxalic acid strips in here also. So those will remain on. Girls, that's about the best I can do for you. I've got some other ideas about keeping these boxes in better shape, cooler or warmer and drier. So we've got the little vapor machine here. See if I can set up and do that. I know most of you guys have watched 100 different guys do this, but my idea here is that chilling them a little bit by opening them up to put that in, I'll warm them again when I put this in. So if that warms them back up, let them spread out a little to get their the oxalic vapor all around them, that would be a good thing. So, of course, I didn't borrow the instructions with this thing, but I got a pretty good idea what we're supposed to do. I have a wand vaporizer that I don't really like. It doesn't fit into my colonies very well. Eventually, I'm going to develop one that will go into both at the same time, and I can set it here and plug it into two and do two at a time. That'll be a lot better for doing this. So I got numbers creeping up on this thing. I'm guessing it's got something to do with the temperature it's getting to. So we'll let it get warmed up good. Let's see what we can do. I went to Lowe's to try to get a respirator because mine's got broken parts on it. Of course, they don't have any of those, and who knows when they'll get any more. So I should have probably read the instructions on this thing, but we'll just let her get warmed up here and then dump the stuff in and do the trick. Oh, I believe it's supposed to be up in the 300 or 400s somewhere. All right, she's getting pretty warmed up here. We'll go ahead and give this a shot. Well, looks like it's doing the trick. Should have had a little longer tube. I could just stick it in there and leave it there. Doesn't seem to want to hang. I can see vapor creeping out of the box. And I've got the wind blowing the right direction, so I'm not breathing it. This stuff is not good for your lungs at all. Especially with the damn Rona I had that's already got my lungs in not good shape. We'll just keep the wind working with us, right? See if we can get these few little boxes of bees we got left to make it through the rest of the winter. They're headed south in a couple weeks. It should help them, but probably still lose some down there. Well, my hope was I could just hang it here and let it do its thing and go work the next box, but well, maybe it'll stay there. All right, that can finish doing its thing, and I'll go get another box. So just a little glimpse of what I got going today. Well, the sun's headed down in a hurry, but we got this yard going through. The cold cost quite a few bees, so we'll start over next year. Yeah, there were a lot of the smaller ones just didn't make it through the cold. So I'm going to do a video here for too long with a list of things that I made mistakes on last year that I'm aware of. There's a whole pile, I'm sure, that I don't even know yet. And then some of my plans for next year to try to remedy those things and see what other problems I can find. But this system worked really well today with the inverter. I would go through a box and step back and plug in the oxalic acid vaporizer into the next one and move up to the next box and just work back and forth. Worked pretty slick. So, with a couple things, I did bring my solution of baking soda water so that I can put it on things that I've been using while I'm here. You can see that's foaming up. This oxalic acid gets on everything, and it's really hard on metals and stuff, so I want to be able to counteract it so it doesn't just sit there and eat up my smoker, because it's a high dollar, $12 smoker or something. But anyway, it's good to have a bucket of this with you, because at some point you're gonna need to go to the bathroom and you don't really want acid on your hands. So, and gloves don't work for me very often unless the bees are really pissy, so I'm usually without gloves on. Anyway, oh, the other thing that I like to try to do, carry a trash bag with me so I can pick up, you know, some of the leftover pollen patties that were in there. I've got the Wide Away quick strips that were still in some. If a guy doesn't, you know, make a point to try to pick that stuff up in your yard, it ends up all over. You can, you know, set it on a box thinking I'll come back and get it, and then the wind blows it away, and the next thing you know, your yard looks like crap. It's one thing when it looks like crap at your house. It's a whole nother thing when you're in somebody else's property. I like to try to keep it cleaned up and looking as good as I can. There's always something that gets away from you and you miss, but if you don't try to do it, it doesn't happen at all, and then the place just looks horrible. So anyway, that little bit of effort of just having a bag to put it in when you're done. Been like here, I'm waiting on the last few of these to do their thing. I just walked along and collected my stuff. So anyway, that was today. We'll move on into rain again tomorrow and see what else we need to get done.